So this video is going to be my testimony from beginning to end. I am going to mention some of my partners in this video because they have been influential in my testimony, believe it or not. So, I was born February 19th, 1993. That makes me 29 years old. And I was lukewarm for a very long time. I was addicted to porn, in and out of strip clubs, just doing what I can to get a fix. I liked women. And when I turned 18, God used my first partner to bring me out of that addiction. Because I realized at that moment that I wanted companionship, and that's why I was doing what I was doing. And she made me realize what true love really was. And we were together off and on for about 4 years. From the time I was 18 till I was about 24 or so. Now I might be misjudging that. But in that same time stint, I became a Christian rap artist. I discovered that I had the gift of freestyle. I can freestyle the Bible off the top of my head. And so I started doing it. Well, with God's blessing, it really gave me a platform for that. And I guess you might say that from that moment forward, my life changed. Because it was at that moment when I was 18, because I started rapping at 18, I became a baptized believer in Jesus Christ. And it was at that moment that the supernatural started happening. I began to hear voices in my head when I prayed, and some of the things that they would say I would watch happen right in front of me. Actually, there's a moment with my first ex-partner that I can tell you about. So I was at my job, and I said to the Lord, I said, I love this person. I know I really do. And I says, you got to fix this. Okay? And the thing that came to me in my mind was, I have someone talking to her right now. Now, I do have my suspicions on who this was, but they deny it. So, whatever happened, happened. I don't care at this point. What I can tell you is that when I went back to have my lunch on that day, there was a message on my phone that says, someone claims to be your friend is telling me to take it easy on you. That not everything that you're claiming is your fault. Who the heck is this? Did you give someone my number? And it says, No, I didn't. I gave no one your number. And it was at that particular moment I realized I was hearing from God. But I still wrestled with it for a very long time. Now I'm going to fast forward a couple years into 2017. And a buddy of mine that went to a different Bible school than I did, he says, "Do you want to do a conference call with a friend of mine?" And I said, "Sure." So we do this conference call with his friend, and man, the first thing that he said to me at that point was, "Son, you're in a wheelchair, and I don't know what you have, but one day before you die, you're gonna get up and walk." Now, touching on that, fasting forward a little bit, and I'll get to this event specifically a little bit later in the testimony. But there was a specific event in my life that I will get back to later. But I had that same prophecy spoken over me 3 times by 3 different people, 3 different occasions. The other prophecy that was spoken about me was I would be a forerunner among many people in the very last days of the Christ. Now, if you take the Greek and you take the word prophet and you take the word forerunner, the 2 words are interchangeable. They are the same thing in the Greek. Okay? And so it wasn't very long after that that I began to get words of knowledge concerning people in my life and people I didn't know. And this is where I'm going to start to talk about my other partners. I'll start by saying that Peggy, oh man, thank you, Peggy, for always being there for me when I need you. Even though sometimes now we hardly talk. Peggy, I don't know how to tell you, but you have always been my friend at the very least. You have known me for so many years that because we are brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, I could not ever totally walk away from you. You're so understanding of my circumstances more than anybody I've known. And that's why I can't really say thank you enough. So I wanted to verbally thank you. But after her, because me and Peggy got together and separated together, I mean back and forth a couple times. After her, I met a girl named Lisa. And it was at that moment that I realized without a shadow of doubt that God was speaking to me, because I told her things about her life that she never told me. Now, out of respect for her, I'm not going to say the first thing I told her. But one time I told Lisa that she went to the grocery store without her telling me. She told me she was leaving, but she didn't say where she was going. I told her where she went and when she did. Okay? And I'll never forget the reaction. Now, the other thing that I would like to say is that the thing that made us separate is entirely my fault. Even though I was trying to be righteous and doing it, it is still my fault. And so if there is a chance that you ever watch this, Lisa, I want to say that I'm sorry for what I've done to you and what I said to you. It was wrong for me to do so. I know I was trying to be righteous in doing so and just be honest with you. But I realize now, as the years go by, that it's something I should have kept to myself. And so I want to say that I'm sorry. Margaret, I guess I can talk to you. Mention you as well. Margaret, look. Every single one of you has a profound effect on my life. And I know that you're struggling right now. I know that it's hard right now. And my desire is to do something. But my circumstances do not allow me to. Despite the fact that we're not really together anymore, I still want to help. And then, well, there's Benny Longworth. That story's crazy. Benny Longworth. Man, I hope you see this video, because she was so profound in impacting my life that I couldn't ever repay her. I really couldn't. I couldn't repay Peggy, but I really can't repay her. She has comforted me when I needed it. And right now, we don't talk much. But I can tell you right now that Betty made me realize an aspect of my love that I didn't know I had. Like, she was the person who brought this out in me. And she made me realize that the aspect of sacrificial love. She made me realize that I would lay down my life for her, or any partner of mine, past or present. She made me realize what sacrificial love was. She also made me realize the person I wanted to be. You know, I wanted to be a father. I wanted to be a parent. I wanted to actually have something everlasting. She was the very first person to make me realize that I wanted that. And man, this is hard. I wanted to marry her after her being friends with me for about 2 years. And it was at that moment, after coming back from a trip that I had, I was sitting in the car listening to an audiobook with my family. And the end of that book was so hard and so sad that it made me realize that I love them so much. And I can't really put this into words because I know that I'm only human and I cannot change how she perceives me, and I can't change how Margaret perceives me. I can't change how any of you guys perceive me. But if anyone has shown me that I would die for every single one of you, former or present partner, it's her. Because she made me realize that I would do that for a person that I loved. The other thing that she made me realize is my partner's family means more to me than my own life. I'm not going to go into specifics about it, but she had a situation in her life that I realized that I would trade places with that family member because I loved her. And because I loved her, I would trade places with them because I love them. And I'm getting emotional here because it's the truth. There's nothing I could say that would change this. And I realized that at this point in my life that she was there when no one else was. Maybe not so much anymore, but for what she has done for me, I owe her my life. And I know it sounds ridiculous. It really does. But when you truly love someone to the fullest extent that you can ever love a person, it makes you realize that you love them and you love their family more than yourself. And I wish that I could do more for her. I wish I could have. Just like I wish I could have done more for any of you guys. Because I'm opening my heart to every single one of you right now. It's just that the person who's had the biggest impact in my life is, unfortunately, not to put any of you guys down, it's her. It's the one I'm talking about now. And I also have to owe a thank you to my friend David. I met him on the PlayStation, and he left minister school. He did not complete it, but he made me realize that the things that were happening to me were no joke. You know, with the words of knowledge and all this stuff. Because I'm telling you guys that I told him something about his family that I won't disclose. That he never told me. And he lives in Philadelphia and I don't. We are both from Pennsylvania. So, so I think that's part of our bond as well. But I wanted to say, David, because I will send this to you, so you can watch it, because you have had an impact on my life. I wanted to say, Dave, that what I'm about to say may make you cry. But understand this. I love you. I do. And your niece is my family. As much as you might not like to hear that, because it makes you cry. It's the truth, Dave. I don't know how else to tell you. But one thing I can tell you right now is the people that I mentioned just now, Benny Longworth and David, have changed my life in such a way that I'll never forget them. I won't. Even if they were to forget me totally, I could not forget them. I could not forget any of you guys. I really couldn't. Yes, that includes you too, Margaret. But I don't know where to start with Betty and David, because they have done so much for me in the past that I could not ever hope to do enough to repay their kindness to me. Me and Betty don't talk much anymore. But the reason I mention her on this testimony is because she has done so much for me. She talked to me when I needed someone to talk to. You know, she was there when I was brokenhearted. And I guess now it's just being reversed and history repeats itself. But I couldn't ever repay her for what she has done for me. And as bad as this might sound, especially to the other people that I'm going to send this to, who have had a romantic connection to me, is truthfully, I could not love any of you guys as much as I love them, because she made me realize that I wanted to be married. She made me realize how important my family was. And to me, Betty is my family. David is too. But she made me realize that her family is my family. And whether she sees that or not, and sees me the same way, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter how she sees me anymore. I can only say what I feel. And I've tried to tell you how I feel several times. And I feel like you don't appreciate it. Yet, I forgive you for everything that you have assumed about me. And I forgive you too, Margaret. I do. Every single one of you I forgive. That has been with me and won't stay. But I keep going back to Betty because she have had the biggest impact on my life that anyone has. And I know that some of you will see this video and recognize her name. But if there's one thing that woman has taught me, don't give up on someone just because you feel they've given up on you. She taught me steadfastness and to be there even when you feel like they're not there for you. Because love is a choice. Love is a choice that each person has to make. And I'm choosing to love you, even if you don't. There's nothing you could say or do that would change that. And I know that I sound frustrated sometimes. But that's because this is so deep that I can't. It overflows, Betty. And I'm sorry I'm talking to you in this video right now. But you are such a crucial part in my testimony right now that I don't know what else to do. I guess it could be my final message to you in hopes that you realize what you have done for me. And that you realize how far I'm willing to go for you. And And that is why I'm frustrated that I am busting my guts to make sure that you feel loved. I try to do that with every single one of you. But I'm always being the bad guy in every single situation. And it makes me sad because all I wanted to do is love every single one of you, past and present. Every single one of you. And yet I still do. Even if your feelings towards me change. I'm speaking to every single one of you at this point. Even if your feelings towards me change, that includes you, Dave. If we have a falling out, guess what? I'm not going anywhere. Okay? I'm talking to every single one of you right now. See, love is a choice that every person has to make. And I have chosen to love every single one of you. Whether it would be in the same way that I did, or in a different way. I am choosing to love every single one of you. Because that's what my Heavenly Father would do. I am not perfect, nor do I claim to be. But I am a son of God adopted through Christ. So I only do what I see my Father do. Okay? That's all I'm doing right now. And that is why that every single one of you is important to me. You might be on different levels, but every single one of you is important to me. And I can't take away or add to the value that you already have in my life. So all I can do is say thank you. Whether you spit in my face or you don't. All I can do is say thank you. So I'm going to name every single one of you right down the line and say thank you to you personally. And I'm going to mention a specific thing that you have done for me. First off, Margaret, thank you for realizing that I am my own person and teaching me that I am my own person. Thank you for that. You have brought value to my life because you see me as me. You see that I am my own individual. Even though my life does not reflect that, inside my heart I see that. And honestly, I can't say thank you enough. Now, Lisa, I don't know if you'll ever see this video, but on the off chance that you do, I want to say thank you for being there when I was hurting at that moment. And it's been an honor to know you. It's been an honor to love you. Okay? It really has. And I want to apologize for any type of pain that I have caused you. And I just want to say that I'm sorry. I wish it was you. Peggy, the one thing I want you to understand and thank you for is you were there and understanding my circumstances more than any of these people. You did not take me for a liar. You knew I was telling you the truth at the time. And for that, I have to say thank you. We had our issues. We really did. But that's all in the past. And I can only say that I love you for what you have done for me. As small as it might sound. And even though I wanted to do more for you, thank you. And David, thank you for replacing my one friend that I had that understood me. Thank you for showing me that everything that was happening to me was real. And tell your niece I love her too. Please. And last but not least, Betty, I want to say thank you. It's the last thing I do is I want to say thank you for showing me how far I will go for a person. How far I will go for a person that I love. And thank you for all that you have done for me. You were there when I was hurting. Very, very bad. You healed my wounds. And you helped me realize that my partner's family is more important than my own life. You helped me realize that your mother became my mother, and your sister became my sister, psychologically. So when you told me she was gone, it wasn't the same for me. Because I wish I could have taken her place. I really could have. And I really wish that sincerely. Anyway, so this essentially sums up my testimony, other than what I said earlier in the previous video, where I got called into ministry using that prophetic word, and I went to school to become a minister, as I mentioned earlier. But these people have been there for me when no one else has. And this kind of turned into from a testimony to a thank you video and an apology video, because I realized how much I love these people, and I really can't take these words back. I'm really trying to explain how I feel, but it's hard for me to do because many of you won't talk to me at all. That is why why I refer to you as my former partners, because despite the fact that the one has not left, it's almost like it doesn't exist. I want it to exist because I love them deeply, more than I could ever say or even do. And I wish I could do everything they wanted. But the truth is I can't because of my family. And I just want my life to change. And you are my inspiration for my life to change. Believe it or not, you can take that to the bank. You inspired me to change my life. You inspired me to hunt for a job. You inspired me to be a father. You inspired me to love someone in the greatest way possible, and that is unto death. And the person watching this video knows who I'm referring to. But you inspired me to do everything. Everything that I'm doing now, you inspired me to do. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to every single one of you. Thank you. Goodbye, my friends. I love you. And I appreciate everything you have done for me. But you inspired me, every single one of you, to do something with my life. Just the one inspired me the most. And I couldn't ever replace any of you guys for the effort that you have put in my life. So if it's the last thing I say to you, I love every single one of you. And I hope that you can hear it in my voice. And I hope that you don't ever have to know how much I love you personally. Because what I'm saying is that my life is nothing. I lay it down for every single one of you. And you can sit there and you can mock and you can say talk is cheap. But you know what? I hope and pray that you don't ever have to find out that I'm telling the truth. Because every single one of you is worth dying for. Jesus did it. And we're supposed to be representative of Him. So if you think for 1 second that I won't die for any of you guys, you're sadly mistaken, my friends. I love you that much to lay down my life so that you can live another day. And when I finally go, don't cry for me, because I will be with my Father. To live as Christ, to die as gain. And I created this video, I guess, as much as it is my testimony, to tell every single one of you that I love you. And I will give up my own life for you. So if that means nothing to you, then I don't know what to tell you. I love you. Good night and goodbye. I am sorry that I have brought so many of you shame because of circumstances you do not know of. But yet still, I say thank you and I love you. Now goodbye.